I will say that, it's a no-brainer if you want to do anything like this. If Andy Serkis asks you, you jump at it. And what a character. And his pitch was to do something more raw and visceral and true to the original book. And I thought, well, there's room for that, despite there being two other wonderful iterations of the story, as we both know. And, yeah, I just ran with it.
But this one's much darker. It's by no means a Disney movie. This is a dark, grittier tale, it seems, right?
I think so, yeah. It's sort of unapologetically about animals in the wild and how a human can or can't assimilate into that jungle order, and what the parallels are between a lot of species who are, hairbreadth away genetically from being us. And it's weird how things, when they break down, can form massive parallels to our own.
I was pleased when I heard Andy talking about it, though, because the book always terrified me as a child. And then you see the Disney movie versions of it, and you're like, oh, happy-go-lucky, this little boy, no parents, la-di-da-di-da. My kids are both terrified of it. They're like, what happened to his parents? So I kind of enjoy that this is a darker side, because that is actually the tale.
And I mean, to give Disney their credit as well, they don't half do a lot of stuff about orphans. I mean, it's that's a big theme running through all of Disney's work. So I think, and this is, this story was no exception in there. And I mean, I loved growing up with that film, but I was also like, this, wow. I mean, but he has no children to play with, It's there are limits to, but I was fascinated with it for a while, and also with Tarzan, the whole idea of that story as well, another child reared in the wild, and there's a sort of majesty and order and dignity to it, as well as visceral, wild, tooth and claw nature to it, obviously.
Is it a bit intimidating to take on the character of Shere Khan? Is it such
after George Sarnas and Idris Elba? Yeah, of course it is. But we had a very different take on it, and that's all I really needed. I played iconic characters before that have been Sherlock Holmes, but they've been played by a lot of people before me. So I guess I've kind of just gone in with the attitude that I can only do what I can do with it, and I try not to let the other things influence me, because then it won't be my own or different for the audience. So it will be different, definitely. Yeah.
I guess now that I'm running through all your characters in my mind, that is a common thread of your...
A little bit Khan as well, I suppose. But the other Khan I played, not Shere Khan, but Khan is Star Trek. And then Sherlock is always the one that springs to mind as far as going, well, with the right guidance and the right people doing a lot of the heavy lifting about legacy and the origin of these characters, I'm free to experiment and try and do something that's unique or my own in some regard. So, yeah.